Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby girl, you are so easy, baby. The only reason that I can do tonight is 'cause I know you were invited. The only reason that this dress is skin tight is 'cause I thought that you would like it. I'm only come for this.
Our guest today, I'm so happy that she made it. I've met her recently, and what she's doing has been making such a big change, especially for young women. And we're going to dive into that very, very soon. This is a police officer, and her name is Jill Lees. And I would love to welcome you to my podcast. Jill, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Jessica, for having me on your podcast. I am so honored.
Thank you so much. And I know that you just had a wonderful morning. You were doing something that I support a lot, that I love doing too. Can you share that with us?
Absolutely. I ran a half marathon this morning in the town of Plainfield. It's the 3rd annual Back Your Badge half marathon 5K run. And we support our teams, whether it's police, fire, or dispatch. And it goes to a great cause. It's scholarships for young people so they could enter into a career of one of those 3 fields.
That's awesome. Now, Jill, I always felt in my life, looking at a position of me as a woman to become a police officer, I always thought about risk, fear, danger, and difficult situations. So that's something that never crossed my mind to do. How and why did you choose this career? You've been 31 years in this career, right?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's incredible.
As a police officer. Yes.
So how did that come about for you?
I think it's a passion for me to serve. And I grew up in a, blue collar type area, steel mill family, and I really wanted to serve. Like, I always thought I would be like a doctor, right? Like, I always wanted to go to the medical field, be a doctor. And then I found that the biggest difference you can make, aside from being a teacher, obviously, would be to be a police officer. And I've always kind of always wanted a challenge, because being a police officer is challenging physically, mentally, in all different ways, because you have to be physically fit. You have to make decisions very quickly. You have to be mentally fit as well. And you have to be doing this for the right reasons. And I'm proud to serve the communities that I've served over the past 3 decades.
I love that you said that. You're doing it for the right reasons. And I think that's key for somebody to really enjoy the career that they're in. That's whatever choice or the path that they were led to. So thank you for saying that. Tell me what has been, I think that I know the answer, but I want to hear more. I want you to go a little bit deeper. Tell me a little bit more about what is the best part looking back, because you've been serving in so many different capacities. So looking back today, what was the best part of being a police officer, if you have to say, like, the sweetest spot and the most difficult?
Wow. 31 years. I have so many stories. I always say I should write a book, but I think the absolute sweetest spot was all of the years that I've served as a school resource officer, or as a DARE officer, or as a patrol officer, where you're interacting with people day to day, and you're really giving them information to help. Like, you're a wellness coach and a life coach to help. You're giving them that vital information to help them redirect their lives, make good choices, be well, help raise their kids well. And to see the evolution of that over 3 decades has been amazing. To see the young people that I had an influence on now old enough to have their own kids, and say that I really helped inspire them in some way or made a difference. And I think the absolute most difficult, I would say, is I served many years as a chaplain, that while I was serving as a police officer. So I was like a chaplain officer, and to provide death notifications for people has to be the most difficult job that is my responsibility. And I will never forget one time we were about to knock on a door and my partner looked at me and said, the information that we have will change these people's lives forever. And I looked at him, I go, I wish you wouldn't say that, because that made it even heavier, I felt, than it would have been initially, and I'm very spiritual. So I always felt like that God has given me the strength to be able to do, someone has to do it, right? Somebody. And no matter what the circumstances are, even if someone's 90 years old, or if someone, was killed in a car accident or motorcycle accident or suicide or whatever, God has given me that ability to do that. And I do it with such care and compassion as well.
That's amazing. I didn't even think about that part. I was thinking about other things, and there's just wow. That is, you're totally right. Now, you were sharing a little bit earlier in a conversation about how rare or few women go into this career. I've never really paid attention to that. And I think it depends also maybe on where we live, where we're coming from, and the different experiences. But share a little bit, because I know I heard that you were, like, in your region, the third woman to be an officer, right?
Absolutely.
That's incredible. So tell me a little bit about why is it that you have so few women, and how is it for women to work in this environment?
So, national average, there's only roughly about 12% of women serving in law enforcement. That's very low. And there's different initiatives to try to bring that up. If you look up the 30 by 30 initiative, it's trying to get the numbers to 30% by 2030. But just in 2024, I was working night shift, and I was the only female officer in the entire county at that time. So I sometimes helped other agencies when they had situations that required a female's assistance. So sometimes we feel like we've gone so far, and sometimes it kind of feels like it slides back some. And so that's where I'm always such an advocate of getting in this profession, because I feel that more women, should step up to serve. I feel women make great police officers. We're very natural at communication, de-escalation, in more ways of, it's not as difficult for us to do those things. And obviously I was always in the schools a lot. So, we're more nurturing and good with the little kids and the big kids. And it's very difficult, because through my decades, I've always felt like, and through universities I've graduated with, I still do a backpacks to briefcases program where I help senior college students at IU Indy at the O'Neill School kind of get their feet going and get into the career they want. Many of them are public safety, studying that area. And, I feel like there's apprehension. And I always say, you have to set that aside. I try to empower women to say, you can do this. And I try to use myself as an example. I couldn't do one push-up before I went to the police academy. But guess what? How bad do you want it? And I've come up with this new motto. This is my new thing. I was reading something the other day, and it just jumped off the page at me. It said, winners find a way. And I'm like, if you want this job bad enough, you will do 30 push-ups. You'll just do it. And that's what I did. I remember getting up and working hard and grinding every day. And it's about the process. And many people are not patient to see the results, right?
Absolutely. That's the point.
That's the point. So I always tell women, you can do it. And here's how you do it, and show you how to do it. I used to run with the police academy. I would go out and run with them. If I'm running right alongside you and I'm 25 years older than you, at least, if not more, depending on what year it was, if the old chief can do it, you can do it. Or the old captain, or the old, I've served many ranks in my career. And I try to show women, mentoring women. You know how important mentoring is.
Totally.
So important.
So give me a couple of things that and how you do empower women in this sense. Give our audience here a few little things that you found that made a biggest impact in helping them to have that mind shift and that understanding.
Sure. And I think in recent years, I now serve as a school resource officer in Hendricks County, and I became an assistant coach for Girls on the Run. Have you ever heard of the Girls on the Run program?
I've heard, but I'm not familiar with how it works.
It is for 3rd through 5th grade girls, and you have 2 practices a week with them, and it culminates into a 5K, which empowers them. And we tell these girls,
That's
you
incredible.
can do hard things. At a young age, we're telling girls, you can do hard things.
Oh my gosh.
And it comes with a wonderful curriculum where your self-talk is positive. It's probably all the cool stuff that you teach adults or people in your job.
But it's key to learn that at a young age, because then they're going to use that forever. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
Girls, as they turn into teens, they really sometimes hold that negative self-talk.
Totally. I have 2 girls. I know.
Oh, I raised a boy. I got lucky.
I got 2 boys and 2 girls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, if you're holding that negative self-talk, you don't have somebody behind you pushing you, showing you, mentoring you. That is so key. And I don't think that we're doing this enough.
You're right.
So with all the coaches there, it made me really happy that, the coaches said, well, you're one of the fan favorites from last season. Or the girl saying, will you be my running buddy for the 5K? I'm like, where's your mom at? Won't she feel sad? And she's like, no, I want you to do it.
Oh my gosh.
So that's just one way that I can think of recently. And then the second way is I was a women's self-defense trainer, instructor before, and a detective and I from my previous agency, the Plainfield Police Department, we come together to create our own program called Safety First Women's Self-Defense. And so we're doing public classes, we're doing classes for different businesses locally, but our big initiative is try to make our way around Hendricks County to teach all of the seniors, girls, or as many as we can reach that are interested, how to empower themselves, stay out of risky situations, but be able to defend themselves upon an attack before they go off to college or into the workplace. And I'm so proud of this initiative, and I'm so proud of the support I've received from my own agency, but also working side by side with one of my former coworkers at my old agency has been amazing. It's really truly been empowering, and to watch just from the start of class to the end of class, how we empower these girls to be able to stand taller, to be able to tell people, back off, stay back. How important is that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't, there's no words to describe. I was so thrilled to hear, that you're part of this movement. And I really hope that it goes far, like really far, because it's not just here in the United States, it's everywhere.
Absolutely.
That is needed worldwide. So I've spoken to women, around different, continents already in this podcast, and I've met some of them, and the women who are involved in empowerment, all of this comes together with absolutely of how we need that. We absolutely need it. And especially the children, because that's the future. And that's the best time of your life to learn that, because you're not fixing something later on. You know what I'm saying? You're just giving that seed right now, and then that's just going to make them so much more successful, healthy, and safe. So I'm loving it. Share with us. I really wanted to actually for you to show me, like, even something physical, if you may, but something that you teach these girls of how to defend themselves. Like you just said something verbal, but I want to hear.
Right.
Share a little bit more, because I want people to see what you're doing, so they can come and follow you, and maybe they can be aware of that. And me as a mother,
yes,
I know a little bit about that, but it doesn't even come close to the things that you're doing and that you know.
Right.
So it's very important to mothers and women, or women who want to have kids, to know these things. You know what I'm saying? So share a little bit more. Dig in deeper with me, please.
Absolutely. To start off with, though, situational awareness is so important. When you talk about mothers and kids, it's not just teaching your kids how to be safe, but just think about when moms are out shopping how distracted they can be because there's children with them. So moms being situationally aware, protecting their children. And I know moms are good mama bears, right? And they're going to protect their kids at all costs. But to be aware of what's going on around you is so vital when you're loading groceries and loading kids in car seats and locking doors. So that just kind of sprung into my head when you started with that. But what the biggest thing is, we talk about all this situational awareness with girls, but then we go further and tell them all of the weapons that they have on their body. Okay, number one weapon being that voice. Because if you start using a very strong, firm voice, people are going to turn around and look. But then using your fists, your elbows, your knees, your feet, your forearms, or your head, all the different weapons that you have on your body, and then we show them where are the vulnerable areas on someone else.
Interesting.
And that is so important. So then we bring that all together: how to punch, how to elbow, knee, knee to the groin, hammer fist. And I really like the hammer fist because, what's most likely to happen when you're walking down a sidewalk? Someone grab your arm. So if someone grabs your arm, how are you going to come back up and down and help release that? They're not going to expect that if you train your mind
Totally.
to help that, and kicking to the vulnerable areas, all of the different pieces that we put together. If someone grabs you from behind, if someone grabs you from the front, the last place you want to be is on the ground. But if someone is on the ground, how do you use your leverage to get them off of you?
Wow.
So we do this. We pared down a lot of material into a very full 4-hour block.
Wow.
So that's just a good snapshot of, if I'm going to punch you, where would be the best place to be? Putting all the pieces together.
Right. I need to send my girls here to spend some time with you.
Absolutely.
They're 16 and 18.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Prime ages. And you know what I love the most? I love seeing mothers and daughters come to our classes.
That is true.
Because it's the time where girls and moms can take out stuff on each other. I always see a lot of horseplay, but it's in a beautiful, wonderful family way, right?
Yeah.
But it's serious.
Yes.
It's I'm going to learn this because it's going to help. It could save my life.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Now, because of everything that you're involved and also everything that you have to do at work that is unexpected, you went through a very, very difficult time recently. And I would like maybe for you to share this vulnerable time and how that impacted you and how you handled it.
Absolutely.
And it was, I think, last year?
Yes.
That's very recent.
Absolutely. April the 16th of 2024, I lost a partner in the line of duty on a night shift that I was working. We were all working together. And he was electrocuted, responding to a crash, responding to help someone that crashed into the pole and had also been electrocuted and got too close. And his name was Deputy Fred Fizzler, left behind a wife and 2 young children. And I was in another part of the county at the time, and it just took the air out of my lungs when I heard that he was hurt, right? And not knowing what had happened. So that really affects people in a different way. And because I've been a police officer for so long, I'd never been through a line of duty death like that, but I have been through other traumatic incidents. So I kind of knew how my body would respond. And it's all of the things you read in a book. It's the tunnel vision, the loss of hearing, the short-term memory loss. I mean, you could have looked at me and told me something and I would not have retained it. I remember that morning someone said something to me and I literally couldn't hear it. I watched their lips move, but I couldn't hear. And it took me a long time to decompress from that. And our agency is very, very amazing at the resources that they have and the different ways that they have since honored Deputy Fizzler. But that was a very difficult time. And it was all brought back up again when we all went to National Police Week, when his name was added to the police memorial wall in Washington, D.C.
Oh man.
So there's a lot that went on with that. And, again, serving in different capacities and many ranks at different agencies, you went to police funerals and you honored that, and that could happen to you, or that could happen to someone you know. And when that happened to our agency, it was like the first line of duty death that happened in our 220-year history or something like that of our department. So it's very devastating. It really is.
How did that affect you going back to work in that capacity? Because I know how traumatic it can be. I know, for instance, in banking, the people who are working at, not in corporate, I was in corporate, but the people who were working in the front line, basically the tellers and, the branches, every once in a while there was a robbery.
Absolutely.
And there was a weapon, and it's so traumatic.
Absolutely.
And some of them could not do that work anymore. So
Right.
How did it happen to you?
Well, number one, we have very amazing resources that are afforded to us. We have a peer support team, and we immediately had counselors, flooded to our agency to help us just work through all of that. There's so much unknown and so much, emotion or lack of emotion. Like, I felt like I was just shocked.
Of course.
Shocked for a long time. But I think that was so vital for us. And because I was newer on the agency and I had not worked with him that long, I'm one of those people that my coping mechanism in all of my personal problems is to work.
Yes.
So to get back to work definitely helped me.
Interesting.
I wanted to be there with people.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be there to, continue the job, continue the mission, let's say. And so I think that's very, very important to understand and know. We're all different in how we do that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And I know people that were very close to him and worked with him for a very long time definitely got well-deserved time off that was needed to, be able to work through the process. But yeah, I think for me, my coping mechanism was to go back to work and just get going, get
Right.
back on the horse again. But that it really something flipped the switch, and I can't put my finger on it. So after he passed away, I always loved running. I belonged in a running club in town, and I kept running. But that's when I was like, I want to run a marathon. And then I ran a marathon, and I gained 10 pounds running a marathon. You believe that?
In muscle?
No, I can't believe that you can't eat a whole pizza if you ran 20 miles in a day, So I was like, I was always hungry. I was like pregnant hungry.
Oh my goodness.
So I was my heaviest I'd ever been after I run this marathon. And I did really pretty well for me, I think, for my time. And so I'd had enough. I literally had enough. And I removed myself from everything but work. I removed myself from my friends. I hired a nutrition fitness coach online. And in 4 or 5 months, I lost 30 pounds. I gained muscle because I liked running but didn't like lifting. And that really changed my mind and my life because of the energy. I had more energy. I had a better mindset. I was more pleasant to be around because I think the weight of everything got on me. And then I was like, I was running and not seeing results then too.
I see.
So I didn't want to be heavier. And as I'm getting older, I feel like all of this is like my midlife crisis of wanting to better myself. I've gotten more involved with the church since. I now teach
And this is
8th grade.
all after he passed away?
Yeah. This has been since December 1st
Wow.
of last December. So it's been almost a year.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many people are like, oh my gosh, like I'm totally different. Like how I look and kind of like my mindset, because I feel like the longer I stay in this job, the more I need to keep up. Like I have to keep up. I'm not going to let women problems like menopause or weight gain or different things slow me down.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Or just say, oh, well, that's what life's about.
Settling.
I have a totally different outlook on life. I feel like I pray more. I'm involved with church more. I went back to being a catechist at my church when I was one when my son was growing up. And I just felt like I wasn't as connected with church anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I go to church every week, but you just go to check the box.
Right.
So there's been a lot of positive changes in my life, and people have noticed.
I'm sure.
I've had more people in the past couple of months than ever look at me and say, "You're living your best life." Someone said that to me this morning before the race. They said, I see you on social media. You're living your best life. And that there is no better feeling than that.
No, there isn't.
No, it means I'm doing something right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a miserable, like I need to retire. I don't know what to do. I always say I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I'm on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading. I feel like you need to keep reading these books and do what they say.
So what was the key for you to completely change that mindset in your physical body and work and improve with your spiritual life, everything like that? Was it the key, the moment that you felt you gained the weight and that was the thing that moved you, or was it the part of the grief? What was it that catapulted you to start this journey that a lot of people don't know how?
Right.
I didn't. It was only after my 40s that I found it. I was searching I couldn't. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so happy for you. But tell us how it was for you. What was the turning point?
I think it was a combination of things. I really do. Because, starting again at a third department, I want to keep up. We have beautiful facilities to work out that I'm like, okay, I haven't been really in there much because I was so focused on learning the job, right? So now I'm settled. I can work out more. I'm using the facilities. It was like a bunch of puzzle pieces coming together. I think the grief part or the death of my squad partner brought back a lot of other traumatic incidents in my career and as a child that I'm like, where do I want to be in the future? And that's where that spiritual part came in of, I want to be the best person I can be, and I want to do this for myself, but I want others to be able to, to be able to help others too.
Yes.
And so I always try to do the very best I can to help people. Oh. And so this May of 2025, I hosted and was asked and got support to host the virtual National Police Week 5K for our agency. And I had a good turnout, and I was hoping that everybody liked it. And then I heard someone say, well, let's get more people next year and we're going to do this. And I thought, well, this will be great that I helped start an annual event to honor our fallen brother, but also to work on ourselves too. And never forget that part, because I knew like everybody couldn't go to DC and not everybody was there during the 5K there.
Right.
So I'm always trying to look for little ways to better myself, but how can I share that with others?
That's why you're here today.
There you go, right?
I'm so happy. And you were on another show a little bit earlier today. So we want to spread the news. We want to spread that. I'm on a mission to do that too. So that's my mission, is to help people to absolutely love their life. Like I was explaining to you earlier. So when I see people actually being able to do that and conquering that, I just have my heart just fills up with so much joy, because you probably can tell too. And as I did, I see myself before how I was and the now. And I'm going to give you an example. I used to be a very anxious, perfectionist, controlling person. I need to have all my ducks in a row to start something. If somebody knocked at my door just to stop by to say hi, I'm like, I'm not expecting you that. I need to prepare myself for this. Right. You know what I'm saying? It was always like that. And I when I started to go down that journey, I was able to tap in to start changing that mindset in a way that I didn't even know how or thought it was possible. I thought it was just like, I don't know, maybe it's genetic, or I was always like this. So you kind of like settle for it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what to do. And I'm so happy that I just, for me, is just being open to it. When I decided to be open to it, that's when the solutions and the small changes started to come by, and I started to embrace each one of them. Yes. The going back to working out, the reading, the time for myself that I would not give myself. As a mother, I felt guilt. I'm like, I can't do anything for myself. I need to take care of my kids. So for a long time, I put myself aside. You know what I'm saying? And you pay the price in so many other ways. So when I allowed that to finally come in, it's when they start coming. You know what I'm saying? And it was the spiritual too. It started with that, by the way, because I came to a point where like something has got to change, and I begged for help.
Right.
And then the things, started happening. So I think that your journey is absolutely beautiful in so many different levels. I absolutely love that you are empowering women in the profession, that you're empowering them with themselves, mothers, child, and people who are about to start their career. This is an absolutely incredible work that you're doing. I'm so proud of that. I'm so happy that I get to know you and know what you're doing. So thank you so much for that. What message would you like to leave to our listeners today? If you have to leave them with something, because you gave so many gems here today, but there's something that I would like them to carry on for the rest of the week after listening to you. What would you like to leave them with?
I think I have so many messages.
I know.
Like,
So, okay. So if you want
just one,
so
is
do
hard.
more than one. Do
Okay.
more than one.
I think I've always told women, and I've told everybody, you can do it. You can do whatever you set your mind to. And I think what helps keep me going is once I achieve a goal, I set a new one.
Yeah.
And I set a timeline, and I'm not hard on myself. So I think that's really important. Is you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do. Don't be so hard on yourself. And then again, I've always preached that my favorite word is opportunity, because you never know when an opportunity is going to come. That's why I rushed in the studio today, because I'm not going to let an opportunity pass me by either, to help people, to give a message. I hope I can make it to church on time, but there's just so many messages. And I grew up a very humble, I didn't have a lot growing up too, where I feel like I'm self-made in many ways, but I had the influential mentors that helped me. And so please, I always say, thank a teacher that helped you. I always say that coaches raised me. People that were influential in your life, thank them. I recently visited my high school track coach, and I've been out of high school for almost 35 years. And to embrace him and tell him that I loved him. Oh my gosh. And to tell him how much I'm still running.
Oh my gosh. I can't even
imagine everything.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yep. So I got my picture with him, and I told him I ran a marathon, and I told him, and I'll still never forget the first words he ever said to me in high school. I mean, you just think of these things and you remember. Yeah. But he's special to me. So keep those special people close. Keep your circle small. Again, I can keep going and going and going, because the trust, having people that love you no matter what.
Yeah, the right people.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's
people.
so important. We need that.
Yep.
We do absolutely need that. And the same way that we need them, they need us, and we need that exchange, of love, encouragement, and high vibrational, everything that you can think of that's good that we were created to do. So thank you so much for being here today. I am so happy, and I'm all filled up. Great. Everything that you shared. Thank you so much, Jill. Make sure that you guys are sharing this episode. There's a lot going on in this country that is positive, and we have so many things that we can do just by sharing, by talking, encouraging, and showing love, and thanking the people who were able to be there for you. So subscribe to the channel, share this, and I'll see you on the next episode. This is Jessica Javens, and this is Jessica Javens Talk.
So pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females magic just touching me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby girl, you are so easy, baby.